All right, today we're jumping into a really fascinating novel by Fadi Zegmoat called The Man of Middling Height. And this book is incredible because it builds this entire detailed world, but its real purpose is to get us to look a whole lot closer at our own.
So, right from the get-go, the book hits you with this line from our narrator, who happens to be a tailor. It immediately sets the stage. We're told this world is built on a really harsh binary. You're either short or you're tall. And that's it. There's no in between, and this single fact shapes everything, right down to the words they use.
I want you to just try and picture this for a second. Imagine a world where your whole identity, your job, what you eat, even the color of your clothes, is decided not by your gender, but just by how tall you are.
And get this, the rules of this world are absolutely ironclad. So shorts are the quote-unquote children of the night. They're supposed to be these bulky protectors who wear green for the earth. On the other hand, talls are the day-active caretakers. They're sensitive to sunlight and wear blue, like the sky. Literally everything, from their voice to how much food they get, is strictly defined by this one trait.
And, this isn't just a suggestion, it's enforced from the moment they're kids. Everyone starts out wearing yellow, all raised together, but then puberty hits, and this one single measurement decides their entire future. If you pass the threshold, boom, you're a tall. If you don't, you're a short. Friends get split up, they're given new names, and that's it. Your life is now set on one of two paths, and there's no going back.
So you have this perfectly ordered, two-sided world, and then our protagonist, Talon, comes along, and his very existence just completely breaks the system.
People like Talon are called mediums. They're neither short nor tall. And in this society, that doesn't just make them a little different. It makes them a total outcast. They're seen as cursed, deformed, even contagious with evil spirits.
But here's the thing about Talon. He's not some revolutionary trying to tear the whole system down. He's just a person, and all he wants is to belong. He has this dream of being seen as beautiful and normal, something the rigid rules of his society make totally impossible.
Well, you can't have someone like Talon exist without exposing just how absurd and cruel this world is. His presence forces everyone to look at the rules they've just accepted their whole lives, and well, not everyone likes what they see.
And you see this tension play out perfectly during a debate about their national flag. See, it's always been green for the shorts, but now some people are arguing they should add blue stripes for the talls. It's that classic conflict, right? Tradition versus progress. Should our symbols represent where we've been, or should they represent everyone who's here now?
Our narrator, the tailor, has this really beautiful way of looking at it. He sees society as a needle, that's the talls, and a thimble, that's the shorts. You need both working together to create something. But that leads him to this really troubling question. If you need a needle and a thimble, what in the world is the role for someone who is neither?
Okay, so up until now, we've been talking about this fictional world. But for the rest of this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain. Because this meticulously crafted world isn't just some clever sci-fi story. It's an allegory. And the author has a very, very specific point to make about our world.
In the author's note, this phrase is presented as like a core idea of the novel. Now, it might sound a little familiar, and that's because it's a direct nod to one of the most famous feminist statements ever written. And there it is, the original quote from Simone de Beauvoir's groundbreaking book, The Second Sex. By echoing this phrase, the author, Fadi Zegmoat, is drawing an unmistakable line between the world of shorts and talls and our own reality. And this, right here, is the key to the entire book. The whole elaborate system, built on the biological fact of height, is a direct allegory for how our world has socially constructed gender based on biological sex. The shorts and the talls, they're stand-ins for men and women. So in his author's note, Zegmoat explains that he's a feminist activist, and he wanted to find a way to make these sometimes complex academic theories about gender, about it being a social construct, more accessible to everyone. So he uses the simple, arbitrary logic of height to show how we assign roles, behaviors, and even values to biology, creating these rigid boxes that, not everyone fits into.
But Zegmoat takes it even one step further, which I think is just brilliant. To make the allegory impossible to miss, he actually created a new language based on height, just to show how deeply these constructs can be embedded in our minds.
I mean, just look at this table. The translation is so direct you can't miss it. The author invents new words like shother for father, a combination of short and father, and tother for mother, from tall and mother.
The allegory isn't hiding in the subtext. It's right there in the most basic words we use for family.
And what this little experiment does is show us something really powerful about our own world. When these divisions, like short/tall or man/woman, are literally built into our language, they stop feeling like ideas we made up. They start to feel like fundamental truths of nature, which just reinforces the whole system.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Why does all this matter? Well, the novel isn't just some clever thought experiment. By creating this parallel world, it's holding up a giant mirror to our own.
And at the end of the day, that's the book's real purpose. By showing us a world built around something as random seeming as height, it forces us to step back and actually question the rules we live by every single day. It makes you wonder, are our own categories any less arbitrary?
And that's really the question the novel leaves you with. It challenges us to look past what we've always been told is normal, to see the constructs for what they are, and to ask ourselves, what happens to the people, the so-called mediums in our own world, who don't fit neatly into the boxes we've all created?